real girl and two trannies and be like, hey, which one do you like best?
All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody? So I set this thing up. I was going to talk about this crazy situation where these two people from this crazy evil company like own like the majority of the water supply in California, because I knew there was something up with that. But literally like minutes before we started, I get this headline that says Mayor of LA fires the chief of the fire department from LA. Because so we got the Ghana chick. She fired the LGBT hire. You know who I'm talking about? So there's the LGBT lady's been talking shit about the city all day, saying that they failed them. I'll show a clip from that quick. And then this bitch just fired her.
She should take a moment, look herself in the mirror, and do the same.
Oh, shit. So
everybody from the top down, everybody needs to be replaced with Newsom, with her crazy ass, with the fire chief. They need to stop with the DEI hires. There needs to be a merit-based system. Obviously, I know Kristen Crowley did have, I believe she was 22 years with the fire department. However, I don't know what her level of skill is, but heads have to roll. When something like this happens of this magnitude, heads need to be chopped off. The whole thing needs to be revamped and stop it from happening again.
Dude, not just that, jail time, like legal action. Because I started off the week like 49% that this was done intentionally, because I'm always like, of that mindset because of the way that things have been lately. But now with the shit I'm seeing today, I'm at 100%. I'm going to show you guys all that in a second. Let me know in the chat, guys, where you're at on the scale from 0% to 100% that this was done intentionally. But here's what I guess got this lady fired. I guess this is all you need to say to get fired.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department?
In LA, that'll get you fired.
Oh, shit.
Period. Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job, and I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Chief Kristen Crowley, I believe the anchors wanted to ask a question.
Yes,
there had some comments.
We do, Gigi. If you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was closed to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez Reservoir being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters, if there's no water, they're going to go find water. They're going to figure out a way to do the best they can with what they've got in a very dynamic situation.
And I know you expressed concerns that those DWP hydrants would not be inspected thoroughly because of the budget cuts.
That is something to discuss, and we're going to look into that in regard to how we can ensure there's going to be water when we need it. But in the end, I'm going to defer that to DWP and whomever else controls the supply. I can guarantee you that when our firefighters showed up on that day with what they had, they did absolutely everything they could do to rescue and
then like that transitioned just a few hours later to freaking this. Where's this thing? So LA Chief Kristen Crowley dismissed by Mayor Karen Bass after scathing criticism over Inferno response. So this is like the blind leading the blind. But dude, so it's coming out today that they, like she said in the video, they drained the closest reservoir to them for repairs like last month.
Now it's making me think that there's something intentional going on. I don't know if it is, but if whatever it is behind the scenes, if I was a conspiracy theorist, now it sounds too crazy for me. there's only so many coincidences, unless this is just one of those things. It's a perfect storm where everything that could go wrong did.
Reservoir in worst fire ravaged area of LA had been drained for repairs when blaze erupted. A major reservoir in the area, blah, 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 had been drained and closed for repairs when the deadly blaze broke out this week. And a report Friday said, troubling news surfaced 2 days after firefighters in the Pacific region ran out of water from local hydrants of low pressure as flames raged. Oh, yeah. And then they said, too, that all the hydrants in that area, they like failed to inspect them. And, simple thing, you're supposed to clear out the brush or whatever, like do the controlled burns. They canceled the controlled burns, like for no good reason. They just like statewide, they started canceling the controlled burns this year. And if
I have a few things to say, even
go.
before, so all of this is crazy. But first, I want to go back to the clip you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the fire chief, you would think that you would know at all times how much water you have and where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, this should just be common sense. This is like the most basic rudimentary thing that you should know. Rudimentary, part of my English, but whatever. All right, but she should know this at all times. Here's where the water is. Here's how much we have, and then what to do in case it starts running low and who to speak to. But now it's looking, as you said, all of these cannot be a coincidence. All these things are just lining up to some major conspiracy, and I'm glad we're in the era now where all these things can't just be easily covered up, where news is reaching people faster and everyone's working together to put out this stuff, to expose people and let them know what's really going on.
Yeah, like I'm going to show you in a second why I think they might be doing this, because there's literally like headlines writing on the wall talking about it. I mean, so you're from this area. Would you agree that this is like possibly, arguably, like the most valuable real estate in the entire country?
Yeah, I would think so. LA, I mean, I don't know what could be more expensive than Pacific Palisades property or Calabasas property.
Right.
This makes me so mad. You don't even have to say anything. You know who did get a bunch of this money? And you might already have it. Ukraine.
Yeah.
Their fire trucks are fine. They're ready to go. I mean, this is just, it's infuriating to me that we live in the United States, the most prosperous country in the world, and we can't even do basic things such as have water for our fire department.
Like, what a freaking hellhole. I mean, like there's no good explanation for this. And then you have the biggest homeless problem. And then you get 24 billion from that. And then it disappears. And then Biden comes out yesterday saying that the United States federal government is going to cover the full expense of what's happening here. And like no questions asked, the next 18 months, they're going to pay for everything that needs to be rebuilt. And I find that quite a coincidence, because what was happening in this area, like a big thing that I think just got approved, is that they're trying to actually build a whole smart city thing in this area.
I said it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it.
You sure did.
Going to come in with some low-income housing. Well, that's what I thought. And then the other gentleman that was on yesterday said a smart city. And right away I thought, oh, yep, they're going to do that, because how could they get rid of all these people before? And that's what my friend said. He said, watch, they're going to take these, this was spread out people in actual homes. And he said, they're just going to pack it in and make it more dense and put a bunch of people in one area.
Well, think about it. It's like, I keep calling it, it's like expedited eminent domain, because, a lot of these people, they're trying to get them to sell their houses. They didn't want to, because, like it's great real estate that's been passed down for years. Like their grandparents probably like bought the place or built the place for like $30,000, like 80 years ago. And then today it's worth, probably like $1 or $2 million to live in that spot. And then
much more than that in that area.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. No. I mean,
what are we talking?
In Pacific Palisades or Calabasas, I don't think anything's going to be $1 million. You're talking way more than that.
Oh, look at this. We have a whole report that was published.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's funny. We live in a world full of urban challenges, from racial injustice that impacts our minority populations to natural disasters that threaten safety and private and environmental changes that affect the very water we drink and the air we breathe. To address these challenges, cities seek tools that can positively transform our urban environment. The most promising of these tools is technology. Technology enables the city of Los Angeles to efficiently and ethically improve the quality of our lives. Oh, ethically, by lighting on fire. In 2019, City of Los Angeles ITA convened its Smart City Committee, composed of 24 departments and elected officials, while Los Angeles had become a civic technology leader blah blah blah, the exponential growth. So yeah, they've been talking about building this shit for I guess like 5-6 years now, and I don't know, I guess they just had to get the nuisance out of the way, because like these insurance companies are saying now the reason they canceled the policies is because they couldn't stand by and let the city do what they were doing. Like they're watching all this take place, like where they're not doing the controlled burns, they're not keeping adequate water levels. So like, what the hell are you supposed to do as an insurance company? And then their rates are capped. So it's like one of the only states, like did you experience this at all? Like they're one of the only states in the country that has like a regulatory commission for insurance rates. So they cap what the insurers can charge you. And it's like not affordable to insure people there.
So what's going to happen is you're going to have, Pat had talked about this, you're going to have more insurance companies leaving California, which is going to put more people at risk. Also, you had alluded to this. This is a great way for them to just wipe out a bunch of wealth for these people who are wealthy. They're going to sell their homes. Those homes are incredibly valuable. I don't know how you can replicate a home like that. I mean, they'll have a certain amount of money. If they're able to rebuild there, then they might. And then also it stops them from, what is it called? Is it eminent domain, where the city confiscates your house to build something?
Yep.
So they just saved themselves thousands of lawsuits by trying to build this city, and they're going to more than likely try to push this through. Something that nobody wants, that'll be an eyesore, that'll be a sack of shit, that if it's the government doing it, it'll take years and years and way over budget, in my opinion. Remember, they built the Boston tunnels and how long that took and how much more they went over budget.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that this is going to be the same.
Yeah, I imagine maybe it will look nice, but it'll be like a dystopian horror show, like some like a Black Mirror type of thing. I think that's what they're like envisioning, like a legit.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It probably will look pretty, but then you'll be, I mean, it starts there, then you'll be in your smart city, I'll be in mine, and we'll only be able to travel once a month to each other's cities, and everybody will be controlled, and then we'll get our credit scores, and you and I are going to have fucked up credit scores because we talk way too much against the government. So it'll be horrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really I hope and urge Trump to stop playing along with this. Like, as in like, oh yeah, I feel bad for the people of California. It's like a terrible accident. Like, no, it's objectively not an accident. Like, I think we could, there's not one thing that you could point to where you could say like, oh, okay, like I understand why they did that, or I understand why they did this, or it's good they did this at least. Like every single thing down the checklist, like where you could have stopped this, they didn't do and they neglected it. So like, it's like you created every single perfect condition for this to happen. And one thing I didn't look up, I'm interested to look up, is that the wind was abnormally fast during this time, or like abnormally windy. So it'd be interesting to see like if like the last several weeks it wasn't windy, and then they have the perfect conditions for a fire, then somebody just dink, throw a cigarette on the ground, and then boof, there you go.
Supposedly they caught the guy that did it. I don't know if you saw that. There was a huge train of police cars. 100 police cars, more than I've ever seen. I don't know if it was all to go capture that guy.
Some hobo.
Yeah, exactly. Some patsy. They're like, hey, you crazy asshole. You're going to be blamed for $50 billion. So who knows? But they, back in the day, they recalled Governor Davis in California. And I don't remember what it was that led up to him being recalled. And Arnold Schwarzenegger ran and ended up beating him. So I would hope that this would be enough for Republicans in the state to wake up and finally get rid of Newsom. I mean, what else do you need? How much more? We were locked down during COVID. We were, we had all the lawlessness in LA. Now you have these horrendous fires. I mean, we had the most people leave than ever before. This is the first time they have more people leaving than coming in. When is enough? It's like when you're you have an abused wife, and she keeps going back, and the husband keeps kicking the shit out of her. It's like, all right, enough. Like, what else? I remember a woman told me this is like the mind of a Democrat. She was in an abusive relationship, and her ex pulled out a gun, and he shot it at her.
What?
She jumped out of the way, and he blew out a window. And I was like, hey, you're not going to go back to him. And she was like, well, I shouldn't have upset him. And so there's still going to be people that, despite all of this, are going to vote blue.
It's insane. And I'm going to show you something really creepy in a second. But speaking of Newsom, are you familiar with his relationship with the Getty family at all?
No. Enlighten me, please.
You know about the Getty family?
No, so I'm sure you'll.
Okay. So this is the article I was looking for quick, just to cap this part off. So yeah, this is back in October. U.S. Forest Service decision to halt prescribed burns in California is history repeating. So, like this is them saying like guys, what are you doing? Like you're creating a tinderbox. So, the water, the freaking the fire department chief, the mayor, the cutting the budgets. I mean, it's
and the people they pick to do these things, to work
Yeah.
these jobs. It's absolutely insane. It's insanity. Like I don't know what her exact title is, but that lesbian woman that said, if you're a 200-pound man caught in a fire and I have to get you out, then you've done something wrong. Like just blame the victim of the fire.
You think that lady could pick you up on fireman carry you? Because we tested the theory today, and I mean, I love Kelly, but she was trying to argue, she's like, no, I'm sure someone could be firefighters. We're like, no, Kelly, they can't. Like, if you you have to the test for a woman if they want to be a firefighter, which I don't think they should, because if it's something where you have to physically carry somebody with already heavy shit on your back. A lot of guys can't even be firefighters, in my opinion. You should be able to pick up a 200-pound dude on your back and not have your legs buckle at all.
Well, I mean, they could be in a support role if there is such a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, at a desk or something.
Maybe cooking a meal, but
not driving the truck.
No.
Oh man,
that's a bigger danger than.
And we're canceled.
Yeah, there we go. There it went.
Good run. So,
wait, do you remember though that they mocked Trump though? I don't know how long ago he had talked about that they needed to do is it deforestation where they clear out all the
brush.
all the brush, and they mocked him on the mainstream media, made him look like he was a fool, and now the guy looks like a genius. Now you have $50 billion worth of damage and at least 7 people dead. I think the number is 10 now, which is absolutely insane, and which could have easily been prevented.
And they say what the number of houses burned is what, they say almost probably 100,000 now, because the last number I saw I think was 70 or 80,000, right? So you're gonna have
those people go. I mean,
I was gonna say you're gonna have maybe 20,000 more homeless people now, because right now, imagine last year or a few years ago you had done what the steps to buy a home, and you own a home and something, it's a good chunk of your net worth, and then the shit burns down and your insurer had canceled your policy before that, so your biggest asset that you own on an average income is just gone. So you're starting from zero.
But not just that, it destroys the whole financial ecosystem. You were living there and going to work, and now you can't. And so, it's going to put all these people, it's going to take all these businesses out of business. It's going to put all these people on the street. It's going to put a bigger strain on the government. It's going to cost taxpayers more money, and it could have all been easily avoided, which just drives me nuts. We should be the most burning Epstein/Lydia.
So
okay.
that gets into something I'm going to talk about later, but keep going.
Yeah, it just infuriates me. We should be, between the money we spend in Iraq, Afghanistan, we send to Ukraine. I mean, America should be the wealthiest country in the world, where we should just be living it up. It used to take, I believe at one point in the 50s and 60s, it was 3 years to save up to buy a house. Then it became 6.7 years. And now it takes, I don't know, or maybe I have it wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. And so
it took 2.5 years of an average salary to buy an average price house in the 70s. Today, it takes 9.
Yeah. I mean, first off, how many people do you know can save up for 9 years straight? Can you just stop at what they're doing and save nonstop?
Yeah.
So it's becoming insane here when it doesn't need to be at all. We spent so much in Iraq and Afghanistan. We could have paid off 2/3 of every home loan in America with that money. We could have the best healthcare system. We could have the best of everything. And instead, we're just wasting money. And then we have horrendous policies in place, such as DEI.
Yeah, no, they've absolutely pillaged us. They've extracted wealth from our future to pull it forward to them. I mean, if they want to talk about reparations, we should get fucking reparations from the military industrial complex.
I agree. I agree 100%. Something needs to be done, but as soon as we start going against them, neither
start having mysterious deaths.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So transitioning a bit here, this is what I originally intended to talk about before I saw this crazy bipolar Ghana chick fire the LGBT chick. So we got DI and DI crime there. But
if I was the LGBT chick, I would sue the shit out of the Ghana chick.
Yeah,
no, I was fired for no reason. This isn't my fault. And
what do they call it when they're those people are fired? They call it something,
unlawfully
discrimination or
discriminated
something.
against. Yeah. Yep. I say, oh, she fired me because I'm a lesbian. And
Yeah.
she'd be like, oh, I'm a lesbian too.
She'll be like, but I'm a lesbian and black.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just keep rising. But if I was her, I mean, I would have been. If I got fired, the next press conference would have been me crying because she had a $750,000 salary or something. Or no, excuse me. I think it was 432.
Yeah,
one of the two, but she had a high salary.
Maybe we should apply for the job.
Oh yeah. Wait, the mayor will apply?
The what?
The mayor will apply for the fire chief's job because it's so.
No, I said you got like a bunch of people applying for the job, probably.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that's an outrageous salary.
Yeah, and for a terrible quality. Yeah. The only thing she did is produce like a DEI fucking propaganda video. But anyway, so I've been looking into how the California water system works because, you know, I keep looking at the numbers and I keep hearing people say that like they have more than enough water for anything they need, whether it's drinking, whether it's, you know, putting out fires. Like they have a ton of reservoirs, they get a ton of rainwater, they have systems that are set up to collect the rainwater, blah, blah, blah. So I come across this video last night and it doesn't explain the whole story, but it explains like just how fucked up this system is. So guys in the chat, like, have you ever heard of something called the Wonderful Company? Because I'm sure you've bought something from there. If you like Fiji water, if you like almonds, if you like, I think they're tangerines or clementines, those little mini oranges. If you like the pomegranate water that's in that like weird shaped bottle, it's got like the 3 rings on it. This sick, twisted company, like basically stole California's water by bribing politicians. So here, I'm going to show you this video quick.
Owned company worth at least $5 billion. The majority owners, the Resnicks, are worth at least $8 billion. How were they able to take over such a large percentage of what should be a shared public resource? As the Resnicks were building their empire, the state of California was building new water infrastructure with taxpayer money. California's natural water supply is very inconsistent. Vastly differing amounts of rainfall means the state can go from surplus to drought and back very easily. So they build water banks to store water during surpluses to have during droughts. One important storage facility is the Curran Water Bank, started in 1988. The facility was built with hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars, which could have been a good thing. The people of California would have owned the water. But there were 2 Californians thirstier than the rest, and they wanted more water. Linda and Stuart Resnick, and they had a lot of political power. We'll get to that. In 1994, state water officials, water infrastructure contractors, and agricultural landowners with water rights arranged a secretive meeting at a resort in Monterey Bay, California. These groups, a mix of private companies and public agencies, rewrote California's water rules without any input from voters, taxpayers, or legislators. The new rules, called the Monterey Plus Agreement or the Monterey Amendments, were devastating for working Californians, and great for agriculture billionaires. The original code included urban preference, a long-standing rule that in times of drought, the state water board would give urban areas, where people live, access to water supplies before agricultural interests. Monterey axed that. That means that in times of drought, the water systems for normal Californians would have to buy water from private companies because they weren't getting it from the state.
So these 2 people own 500 billion gallons of water that are sitting in a reservoir, and they built it in a way where like they lobbied and they got the state to like cut it off for them, where like all the rainfall water that comes down from the mountains and everything just like flows right into their big ass reservoir. I'll show it here, and it's cut off from the people so that like they get to determine the prices in situations like this, and they sell their water back to the people, and the people's money built the shit that their water stored in.
Is it? Or are you about to play something else right now?
No, I'll pull up a picture, but yeah, go ahead. What do you think about that?
What I think about it is this. So I want to know, when all this is going on, and even now, did they open up that water to anybody? Did they consider it? Did they try to? Is there something they could have done to help?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's I'm sure they have the right to give it away if they want to, but no, they're charging it like a higher rate than usual, actually.
Oh, while this is all going on.
Yeah.
Crazy. So then I mean, as a consumer, I'd want to know what products, all like the range of products that they have that fall under their umbrella. And I'd love to boycott them. And there should be some type of massive boycott against these products.
So
nobody should be supporting companies like this if this is what they do.
So these are the products right here. So this pistachio bag, we've all seen that bag before. It's at like every store. Fiji, gotta say goodbye to Fiji.
Yeah.
I guess seedless lemons, and then these halo tangerines, and then this pomegranate juice that's like got the weird shaped bottle.
Yeah.
Now looks kind of demonic now that I know more about the company. But But yeah, so I mean, they own this whole thing. Where is it? So this is what it looks like. It has like 120 billion gallons of water flow into it every year from the mountains and everything, and then it stores 500 billion gallons of water. Like I think that's more than like the entire state uses in a year.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's almost unbelievable. Obviously, it's taking place, and the Congress has these meetings. Obviously, I don't feel like anything ever comes from them where they subpoena all these people. But they need to. I mean, if those people are still alive from 19, I think it was.
No, they're alive. They're alive and well.
No, not just the founders of the company, but I mean all the people who created this new policy. They need to subpoena them, and if possible, try them for whatever it is that they can. This is ridiculous. We're being sold out to private interest, and it's insane. Nobody should be able to own the water.
No. Like we were talking today, like were you gonna try to like own rights to the fucking air or like own rights to the sun or like
I mean, eventually there'll come a point where they'll try to sell you clean air. And they'll fuck it up first and then they'll sell it to you.
That's what they're trying to do with the carbon tax. But so these people, they were all hooked up with you remember Dianne Feinstein? I'm sure you know her from California.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Demon. So she was good.
It's funny because a friend of mine worked for her and I would tell her.
Really? Do you have any stories?
No. She loved her, and I was like, she was on the other side of the fence. She finally stopped talking to me because of my support of Trump, and whatever. If that's what causes you to no longer talk to me, so be it. I'm not changing my beliefs.
Yeah. Ugh. So yeah, she was like good friends with them, and she like sat on the board, or like she was like the head of the committee of like the water commission or whatever. So they just like lobbied the shit out of her and hooked her up and whatnot, and she ended up like helping them get that thing across the finish line where they like the rights of that facility were transferred from the state to the like private interests like that. And the weird thing is though, so have you heard about this like Delta project or whatever for California, like where they're trying to get water to go from like the north to the south?
Yeah, but they've been talking about that forever, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's actually what Trump is saying would have helped this. So like that's what Trump's advocating for. That's what a lot of people are advocating for. And when I was looking into these people last night, I was expecting to see that they like had a part in stopping the thing or something, but they actually are in favor of it. So that creates like another. Why?
Yeah.
I guess maybe because like, so let's see if I look up a map of California. So the way that they're positioned, I guess it would flow to that. Like they're at like an interception point between Los Angeles.
What I think.
Yeah. So it would end up giving them more water, but so like they got rejected by Obama, like because Obama said the fish thing too. But like this made me wonder almost like this is kind of like a side theory, but like they kind of have a vested interest in these fires happening too, because like now that's like creates like a stronger case to have that Delta project thing.
It's interesting to me. We're so close to the ocean in California. There should be desalination plants all along the coast, providing us with as much water as we need. People say, oh, desalination is expensive, but it's going to be much less. I mean, if they could build, USC built a desalination plant in Iraq that ended up getting destroyed in one of the wars. If we could build one in Iraq, I would imagine that we could build one right off the coast, the Pacific Palisades, or any number of areas along the coast. There's huge swaths of empty land if you drive from San Diego up to LA.
Yeah.
And so you can put one, somewhere, and it'll be enough water to prevent anything like this.
Dude, it's like they do all the stupid wrong things, but I don't think it's stupid and like that they're doing it just because they're dumb. Like I think it's because it'd be too effective. Like look at this shit. Like you type in California desalination plants, like all you see is California rejects desalination plants during historic drought. California Coastal Commission unanimously rejects desalination plants. Like fucking why? And whenever I look into the reason they don't do this, they say the same thing, like environmental shit. Like they say, oh, because like there's certain fish that get sucked into it, and then the salt that comes out from it like disrupts the little like patch of land in that environmental spot. Like what are you talking about? Like there's like the current alone, like the current that goes up the coastline there would like make the salt like disperse evenly throughout the ocean like in a short amount of time. But like
I'm sure we could find a way. There's a lot of smart people that could figure it out.
And you could use the salt for like as a source of energy too, because like the brack that comes from it, I'm pretty sure you could like use it as an energy source. So it's not like you have to think of it like you're just dumping it back in the ocean. Like you could make a use out of it too. And they also like, so like the biggest realistic obstacle to massive desalination is the energy input that goes into it. But like, another stupid thing that they do is reject all these nuclear energy projects. Like they shut down their oil projects. They shut down their, let's see, California nuclear projects. Startup wants to plan to go nuclear for blah, blah, blah. California last nuclear plant is risky, costly business. So yeah, like they have no interest in any type of nuclear reactors. Like it's just like wind and solar there. So it's like they're pulling to Europe. They're like, but I don't think that it's not an accident, dude. Like they're trying to deindustrialize and like create these like, hellish conditions so that they could like build things back up in the image they want.
That's what I think too. I think they're trying to create some type of lawlessness throughout California and maybe the rest of the U.S. If California collapses with its economy being as strong as it is, you're going to see that go throughout the entire United States. And then from there, the government will step in. They create the problem, and they give us the solution. They'll come in, they'll say, oh, we're going to fix everything. Everybody gets UBI. You have to behave a certain way. You can only go out on these days because of climate change. And then it's going to segment everybody. And then basically, we're no longer going to be this unified country that we are. That's what I think. I think seems like it's the direction they're heading in.
Yeah. So lastly, I'm still digging into this one a bit, but so something that's definitely confirmed. So the Getty family, there was like an oil family. The dude, John Paul Getty, who's the richest person in America at one point in time. Total savage. I believe the movie There Will Be Blood was based on him. You ever see the movie?
No, it's funny. I don't watch any movies, like hardly. How many movies have you asked me?
That's an all-timer, though. Chat, have you guys ever seen There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis? He's like
He's
an
a
oil
fantastic actor, but I haven't.
Yeah, that's like you should make an exception for that one. It's a sick movie. It's
I'll watch it. I'm just I have a list of movies people recommend me, and it just grows and grows, and I never watch any of them.
Yeah, I got
you. You can't see, but I have a huge bookshelf, so I read all the time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So this dude, John Paul Getty, total savage. He's like the richest guy in the world at one point, like in the 50s. Such a savage that like famously one of his grandkids got kidnapped one time, and like they were asking for ransom money, and he's like, hell no, if I pay ransom for that, then my other 14 grandkids will get kidnapped and I'll have to pay ransom for them too. Yeah. So he's just like called their bluff, and the dudes they cut off his grandkid's ear and send it to him in the mail and say like send that shit or we're gonna like keep sending body parts. And he's like, all right. And they're asking for $3 million. He's like, fine, I'll send 2.2 million. And and he's like, but my son has to come up with the rest. And like, he barely gave his kids any money. So his son had to go around like scraping money together from people. And like, they came up with 2.8 and gave it to him. Well, the dude's worth like $3 billion. And so he's a total dick. And but that's the type of dude he was. And like one of his kids, Gordon Getty, he was like the one who was like entrusted with like the trust disbursement and whatnot when the main dude died. And this guy, Gordon, he goes to school with Gavin Newsom's dad. Gavin Newsom's dad's best friends with them. Like they're like, like he like basically lives at his house. They're that good of friends, and becomes like the attorney for the Getty Trust when he's like friends with this guy. And Gavin Newsom becomes friends with his Gordon's son, and like friends to the point where like Gavin Newsom stayed at their house when his parents got divorced and like real tight with them. And like, so they were like the main people that like funded Gavin Newsom's political campaign. I'll pull up a thing that I showed yesterday. Real quick while I'm doing that. What do you think so far?
It reminds me, I have two things come to mind. One, there's that saying, it's a small club and you're not in it. And so it doesn't surprise me that all these coincidences are coming out. And the second, the story that you told me reminds me, if you want to hear a quick funny side story. So my friend, one day when he was a teenager, I went to visit him at his store and he's all distraught. And I'm like, what's up? You good? And he's like, man, I got held up earlier. And I'm like, oh, no kidding. Are you all right? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm fine from the holdup. But he said, I'm more distraught on what happened with my dad. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, robbers come in with guns and they put me on the floor and they tell my dad, like, give us the money or we're going to shoot your son. And his dad tells him, fuck you.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't think my dad loves me. And he was all distraught about that.
Oh man, it would be interesting if you could like do a simulation to see how like certain people would react in those situations. Like
Right?
how do you think Trump would react in that situation? Because I don't think he likes to show weakness.
And so somebody did that to his son. Oh,
Like
I think
like a hold up thing, like where you like it's like give me this or that or I'll shoot your son.
I think obviously he would, he would calm them down, give them what they needed, and then he would fucking get the most elite team or do something to make sure those guys are taken care of properly.
Yeah, smooth talk him.
Yeah, I got faith in Papa Trump and his negotiation skills.
Mm-hmm. So,
especially when it comes to high stakes negotiation. There's nobody better.
Yeah, that's true. So this is a quick chart of like all the powerful families that helped Newsom get into office. Like they donated to him like when he was running for mayor and all that bullshit and like city councilman and blah blah blah. So like the Getty family like straight up like helped them like get to be governor. So I think that anything the Getty family wants, Gay family gets from Gavin Newsom. And same thing with Pritzker. You know, like if Pritzker asks him to do something, which you see the way that Pritzker runs Illinois, I think he does whatever they want him to do. So I mean, there's a theory like floating around out there that I have to do more research into because I like, it's kind of loose evidence right now, but there's a theory that the famous Getty Museum that like basically all their money went to is a underground like sex trafficking network, and there's like tunnels under it and shit. And that now that there's like a now that the Diddy stuff came out and there's a new FBI leader coming in, that they're afraid of getting exposed, so they're like trying to burn their evidence. People
is that why people were saying on Twitter what's underneath this place?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So people in the chat, let me know if you guys have heard about that. But yeah, so everybody says this is like a real creepy place, and that like they think
I've been there before. I nobody touched my ass or anything like that. I was fine.
All right, so well, it was like a weird vibe, like the Denver airport, for example. Like, there's a lot of theories about the Denver airport. I went there once, like just to go on a flight, not to like inspect it. But there is like a little bit of like a creepy vibe of like a heaviness there that like you feel like some serious shit could go on there. Like, did you get that vibe at all from this place?
I didn't feel that at all when I went there, to be honest. So
okay, so that debunks it.
I had like a really positive experience. Nothing happened. So
this one.
Yeah. I went there. I think I've been there. I know at least once I've been there. So this was like maybe like almost 20 years ago, but nothing happened.
Okay. So guys in the chat, you think this is something worth looking into? Like, do you think that like, so yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying that the like around this area, there's like a high probability of like Diddy related stuff or like sex trafficking stuff, that like some like a real sick twisted shit that they wanted to like let evidence get destroyed. So this could be like a multi-pronged thing. We were talking yesterday about how the high speed railway like goes right through the path of where this is supposed to go. Then you got the 15-minute smart city thing. Then you got the water rights, like where that other family probably benefits if they let that Delta thing go through. So like on multiple fronts, like you could see a financial incentive for this. And then, California, like just gets totally rewarded for incompetence for like, you slash a budget for the fire department, then like a terrible thing happens. And then the federal government gives you like an unlimited checkbook to fix the problem that you caused.
If this had happened sooner, Biden would have given Newsom the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
For his heroic acting response. Yeah, so like this thing I was showing you before, I think it goes kind of right through the area because this is like right where this is happening. And I have to look too, but I don't know if you remember off the top of your head, like the wildfires that happened in the past, like in the past few years, did it happen in any of these areas?
I just remember the ones from those ones that took place in LA. So I was there and I saw those. So it wasn't surprising that this is all burning down now. But as you were talking, something popped into my head. For all of us, we're finally putting together like this happened at the same time as this, at the same time as this. And these people, the elites, so to speak, I'm sure they have master strategists that have put this stuff out, like planned this out 10, 20 years in advance. And we're just seeing it. We're becoming aware of it. But I'm sure they have like another 30-year plan to disrupt America that we're just getting like the bits and pieces of now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think so too. I mean, I hope Trump is like just playing nice right now and like comes in like a bat out of hell and like rains down fire upon this shit.
God, I wish just overthrows the whole deep state, public executions,
Yeah.
like becomes a total
Yeah, like don't
dictator.
play nice with them. Like don't play nice with them. You know, I keep hearing people make the argument of like, oh, it's good to see that he's being like amicable and that he says like the best revenge is like complete success. Like, but complete success is like eradicating the problem.
Otherwise, they're just going to wait him out. Okay, he'll wait for 4 years, and then they'll go underground. They'll be more deceptive. Then in 4 years, they'll just come out full force because, well, then I think in 4 years it would have been Newsom versus Vance, but now I think this will probably kill. But you never know that the media machine is so huge; they'll spin it like, oh, he fought the fires and he was out there.
The fact that Gavin Newsom banged his wife's banged his campaign manager / friend's wife, and then came out and said like, I'm sorry, I feel terrible for banging my campaign manager's wife when he was mayor of San Francisco, and like that just went away and wasn't something that you heard about when he was running for governor.
Is he still married? I mean, not married. Excuse me. Is he still married to his wife?
Yeah, but like she's a new wife. I think he cheated on the last one.
Wow. Yeah, and they just get swept under the rug. Yeah. I mean, he's the son of the devil, you know.
Yeah. So what else would you expect?
Yeah, if not like the devil incarnate. So I would expect nothing less from him.
I know. So yeah, I think Shapiro may be most likely candidate right now to go up against Vance. Well, it's just a problem for a whole.
I don't think so. I don't think
reasons.
Shapiro. Aside from those of us who really follow this stuff, your average everyday person doesn't really know Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he'd have enough of a backing, and I feel like he wilts under pressure when it's coming from strong opposition.
Yeah.
Like look at Tate arguing with him. I don't feel like.
You're talking about Ben or Josh?
Oh, I was talking about Ben Shapiro.
Oh,
I was like, wait, what do you mean?
No, I'm talking about the Pennsylvania governor.
Oh, well, I just made a new enemy. So fantastic. Oh well.
Oh, it's funny. But yeah, no, so that's a quick rundown of what we have going on right now. I mean, I keep talking about this like every day, like I start off the day planning not to talk about the LA wildfire shit, but like then I see some shit that pisses me off, or some shit that's like urgently needs to be talked about that's even more ridiculous than the last ridiculous thing I saw. So keep getting dragged back into it. But you know, like we can't just go along with the line of like, oh, this was an accident. Like, you know, we got pounded into people's heads that this was not an accident. This is like couldn't be more blatant that this was intentional, or they at least let it happen like 9/11.
I think so too. I think now is the time for people to keep their eyes open, to be more aware and alert than ever. And unfortunately, there's, like you said, there's going to be tens of thousands of people that are homeless as a result of the California negligence. And hopefully this is enough of an eye opener for people to vote red, you know, nationwide. Yeah. We've been shown time and time again, Democratic policies do not work. If you vote for that stuff, you're going to get these insane people in power that are going to have insane policies that just destroy everything.
100%. Well, that said, everybody be safe. Enjoy your weekend. We have T-minus 10 days until hopefully we're on a better path.
I hope so. Yes. All right. Enjoy your weekend, my friend.
Much love. Thank you for joining me. It was good.
Anytime.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.